My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 34, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Clay the Carpenter Guida versus Mark Madsen. Clay Guida, experienced for days, 36-20. He is 2-3 in his last five, but he is coming off of a win. Mark Madsen is 10-0. Mark Madsen, I mean, the O is there, but Mark Madsen is an Olympic Greco silver medalist wrestler, not just a very good wrestler, literally one of the best wrestlers on the planet for Greco. And if you don't know, Greco wrestling is all upper body. You don't touch the legs. So obviously he can wrestle everywhere, but it is a very different style of wrestling than shooting doubles and singles. His striking is not very good. He does have cardio issues. Clay Guida has zero cardio issues, never has. He's almost 40. He's not quite there yet, but he is always in a fight. He has a really good chin, ridiculous footwork, good striking, good wrestling. The wrestling won't even compare here, but he does have good wrestling. He has good striking, and his biggest asset is his toughness and his absolute relentless pace and cardio. Danny boy, this is your favorite fight. Why don't you break it down for us?
Do it, Dan. You better say what you said during the Dean interview. You better come with it.
Why would I switch it up? I said that on a live.
I know, but what did you say specifically about your pick? I'll give you permission to say.
I don't even remember, but I really like Guida in this fight. I think a lot of people are on Madsen. I get it. He was in the Olympics, Greco wrestler. Listen, he's got good Greco wrestling. You can't take that away from him. But if you watch the tape on both these guys, Guida, everyone's, oh, he's 40 years old. Look at his last fight. He went against Michael Johnson, who I know can be hit or miss. But I think Michael Johnson showed up ready for that fight. And I think Guida went out there. Not only did he strike with him and win a lot of the striking exchanges, but he put a pace on him that Michael Johnson couldn't compete with. He out-wrestled Michael Johnson, who's not a slouch wrestler. Michael Johnson is a lot younger than him. And you could just even tell Johnson in the third round, like, he wanted to be in that fight. He came to that fight knowing it was going to be a dog fight, and he was prepared for that. And he still got outworked by Guida. The biggest thing for me was the striking. I mean, Guida throws bombs. He's got good wrestling. This will be the first fight where I actually hope he doesn't go for offensive takedowns. I think Marco Madsen is probably going to win some wrestling exchanges in the first round. But I think by midway through the second, end of the second, and definitely by the third, Guida is going to outwork him, and all he needs to do is let loose on the feet. Madsen got in trouble his last fight once they got to the third round because he was tired from getting all those Greco throws and Greco takedowns, and he was getting pieced up on the feet by what's his name earlier on the card. I think Guida, with the conditioning he's shown, I don't know. I think he's very live in this fight. I got a bet on Guida at plus 150. I would tread lightly on this one, but and the only reason I say that is because Marco Madsen hasn't fought in well over a year. The guy's an Olympic caliber athlete, so he could be. He knows how to train. Right after his last fight, he's like, wow, I dominated the Greco. And then once we were striking, I kind of had some trouble, and I wasn't, I got tired. So he's probably working on things. But if we see the same Marco Madsen we saw last fight or anything close to that, I think Clay Guida is live for a knockout on the feet. And I've got a bet on Guida money line plus 150 or plus 148. And then I also got a bet on Guida inside the distance. If it goes the distance, no action. I got that for basically even money. So I don't see Marco Madsen finishing this fight unless he catches a sub very, very early in a weird spot. But I mean, call me crazy, but Madsen, to me, if he's going to win this fight, it's going to be wrestling decision. And I don't even think that's likely. I think Guida's going to beat him, whether it goes 3 rounds I think he's live for a knockout. So I really like Guida in this fight at plus money. I've got a bunch of bets on it. So let's go. I could have sworn, Jacob, this was going to be your lock of the week.
Well, it's funny, Dan. I think the pressure. This is how the pressure gets to people because with Dean, you said this was your lock, and you almost went there, but then the pressure got to you. You started backtracking. Oh, Mark could win.
So thing. All right, yeah. So this is my lock of the week. What do I have to do? Make a shirt and do a dance now? Is that how it works?
I'm just saying. You said it was your lock, but then you headed that direct. I understand. Not everyone can be as confident as me all the time.
I think I said if I were going to do a lock of the week, this would be it. But yeah, I don't do locks of the week.
I try to get.
There are no locks, but I really like Guida in this fight.
For what it's worth, I believe Dean was very high on Clay Guida too. We mentioned this. If you guys didn't know,
interviewed real quick. We interviewed.
I mean, I was about to do that, but you go if you feel like you need to do it. But you had an interview with Dean Thomas.
We interviewed Dean Thomas. We asked him, "Is it weird to see people like Clay Guida, who you fought and beat 10 years ago, still fighting?" And like you said, he was very high on Clay Guida and said he liked him in this fight.
Yeah, so it was a great interview. If you didn't see it, check it out. He was high on Guida in this fight. And listen, guys, I owe such a debt of gratitude to Clay Guida. I love Clay Guida. He was the original lock, the first ever lock of the week winner. So I will have Clay Guida in my heart. I wanted to make him the lock of the week so bad. He actually was the lock of the week for about a half an hour today. And then I just thought about Mark Madsen and just all those takedown abilities. I definitely think Clay can win this fight. Mark Madsen actually was in my lineup, but I didn't trust enough because if he keeps shooting those takedowns and Clay keeps stuffing, making them work, Clay's going to win the third round. If this goes to the third round, he's going to win the third round. Can he win the second round is the only thing I'm worried about in the decision because I think it's going to be a decision. So I think Madsen's probably going to win the fight. I think he's going to be able to control it for the first two rounds, probably lose the third round. But guys, I understand you guys love Clay Guida. Everyone loves Clay Guida. I love Clay Guida. I could not quite make him the lock. And I think deep down it's because I didn't want to make him the lock and then I jinx him and then he loses because the lock of the week hasn't been doing real hot. So I'm sacrificing someone else so Clay Guida can get this win. So I like
that's so good of you. Yep. Thank you so much. I agree with everything Dan said, but Mark Madsen is my pick. Clay Guida is not my pick. He is everything Dan said he is. He's got incredible pace, incredible volume, very good strikes. He has good wrestling, but that's not really a factor in this fight. But he is older. He has been in wars, and Mark Madsen can dictate where this fight goes. And I imagine that's exactly what's going to happen. And Mark Madsen showed us exactly how tough he is. He broke his jaw in his last fight and kept fighting. He showed us exactly how tough he is. It's not like he is a wrestler like Ben Askren who turns his head and doesn't want to get hit. His striking is not good, but he's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to mix it up. He's incredibly tough, can dictate the pace. I think Mark Madsen is absolutely the pick here.
I think that's probably a bad. I think that's probably a bad thing that he's willing to strike against somebody like Clay Guida because Clay he's got real power.
But he knows what he's supposed to do, and that's what he does in his fights. My point is, if Clay Guida starts throwing strikes at him, he's not just gonna overwhelm him and scare him into turning away. And
I understand that. Yeah.
He's gonna stay in there. He's gonna keep fighting and do what he needs to do from there. So Mark Madsen is my pick, but Clay Guida is in my DraftKings lineup. $7,100. This will go the distance. He will put up some points. He could win the fight. I mean, $9,100 is too much for Mark Madsen in this matchup. But at the end of the day, if you're on the Clay Guida side, you're only on his side because of his cardio. Your whole pick is his cardio is so good he'll win this fight. I can't. Mark Madsen is not an Alonzo Menafield 2 fights ago where it's, hey, if you survive 30 seconds, you'll be good. So everything Dan said, I completely agree with, except Mark Madsen is my pick. I do absolutely love the more on Monkey Knife Fight. This will go the distance. Even if Mark gets all those takedowns, he's going to blow past 35 strikes. And Clay Guida is not stupid. You don't have as many fights as he has, 56 fights without knowing how to put up some points and make a fight dirty. He's going to throw a bunch of strikes. I love the more here. Hit it now before they move that line Chris, who's in the chat, said he'll leave the line here until tomorrow. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. If you like any of those degenerate bets that Dan had, WeWantPicks.com/bets.